This goes back to caveman days. If you were a woman in the cave and you weren't liked, you got kicked out of the cave, you got eaten, right? So this is how deep this is. When you go into a leadership role, you're automatically disliked by women and men. So we know this. It's this war of like, no, I have all these gifts and talents. I can make change. I can do, and then, so internally you're like, okay, I want to be liked, but I know I'm not liked. I'm being judged differently by every word I say, every word I put in an email. I'm being judged differently. So it really gives you an idea of how painful this is.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, and even $100,000 weeks. Before Purple Circle, I've grown several 7- and 8-figure career coaching businesses myself, and have been a consultant at 2 career coaching businesses that are doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Career Coaching Secrets. My name is Annie, and today's guest is Stephanie Byerly, Dr. Stephanie Byerly, who was an anesthesiologist, recently transitioned out of 25 years of academic medicine. She had a beautiful career, but after going through a silent burnout herself, she became a certified life coach, women's empowerment, trauma-informed leadership and professional coach who help women leaders achieve everything in life, but also then realize like, oh, I've gotten the white picket fence of family and still feeling disconnected. She helps those women get back their energy and confidence and find more joy in their life. Welcome to the show, Dr. Finney.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Amazing. Not a lot of people have become doctors and anesthesiologists and then going into coaching. And I really want to know what's the origin story and if you can share a little bit about the silent burnout.
Yeah, I will say I had burnout and I'm still a practicing anesthesiologist. So I've transitioned out of my 25 years in academic medicine so I can really work on my coaching and my speaking and have more time for that. And so I went through burnout a couple of times back when burnout wasn't even a term that people used. And so my personal life was really in a lot of turmoil. I was going through a divorce and 2 young daughters, and I didn't really know what was happening, but I just knew that I was in a very dark place. And I knew, though, that I had to figure it out because I was responsible for my daughters and, in this career, had a lot of leadership roles. And so I didn't know what was going on. So I went on this personal kind of growth journey because I was like, I got to figure this out. And luckily, a lot of wonderful people came into my life at different points that helped me with a lot of different things. I then along the way, realizing my trauma, my personal trauma that I had, I was participating in a group, really trying to process this trauma. And the facilitator, who was very skilled, asked me why I became an anesthesiologist. And I was giving her all these reasons, the same, I want to help people. And finally, she said to me, Stephanie, why did you become an anesthesiologist? And finally, I said, apparently, I don't know. Can you tell me? And she said, because you've walked around numb every day of your life. And that's what you do every day is you make people numb so that they don't feel anything during the most horrific things that could be done to their bodies in the operating room. And literally, it was like this light bulb went off and it changed the trajectory of my whole life. And I know, right? It's amazing. And I just thought, she's right. I'm physically present, but my brain is stuck somewhere else all the time. And I'm always in this state, numb. And I was numb. I felt numb. But outwardly, I had a lot of anxiety. I had no idea. Like my kids will tell me now, my daughters, they're like, you used to be so anxious, but I had no idea because I couldn't feel anything. And I was just going through the motions. And, I had planned my life so that my life and my children's life would not look anything like my childhood, right? Like I had conquered and achieved and overcome. And here I was, and I was like, how did this happen? This is not what I planned. And so I went on this journey. I do have a daughter who is in recovery from an addiction. And during her 6 years of a really difficult time, when we were in her treatment together, participating, they said to me, "You don't understand how much trauma you've had and you need trauma therapy." And I did that and it changed my life again. And then I thought, I really can help women in a different way. All the life experiences I've had, all the things I've overcome, I can help women in a different way. So that's a friend of mine. I said, I don't know what's next for me. Should I go to Africa? Because I specialize in taking care of pregnant women as well as neuro anesthesia. I was like, do I need to go to Africa and take care of pregnant women? And she said, no, you need to become a coach. And I was like, what is a coach? Because in medicine at the time, coaching was if you were in trouble. Like if you were a disruptive physician, you got sent to coaching. So it wasn't something that was a popular thing. And so I started exploring and then I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the piece. And so I became a life coach. And then after that, did an advanced feminist coaching certification because I've always been very much a proponent for women and have written lots of papers about women physicians. I was the head of a national committee on women anesthesiologists. So I've always been in that vein for women. Then I became a leadership coach, and I'm in a 3-year coaching program, mentorship program for women-centered coaching. And I'm also a trauma-informed coach, and I do a lot of trauma-informed leadership coaching. And so it's just all came together in a way to really help me understand my life, but also be able to help women really become who they came here to be on this planet.
Wow, that's really incredible that you were able to identify that you were numbing yourself. And I have no idea how long you were numbing yourself before you realized like, oh gosh, I need to work on this and be more present. And not only were you able to help yourself, you now focus on helping other women. And I am so curious, like what specific women do you help and can help?
So it's any woman who is midlife, usually like 40 on, high achieving, professional, very, motivated women who set out to have these incredible lives, conquered, achieved. They met every goal. They're in these maybe major leadership roles in medicine, in the corporate world, anywhere where they're kind of high achieving women. And they've gotten to this where they're just going, something's got to give because I don't know how I got here.
Yeah.
So because women, we are brought up to believe that we do not really get validation from ourselves and that we have to seek external validation to get an opinion of ourselves. So we're always looking outside of ourselves to have somebody say, great job, or, this and that. And so we're always seeking this external validation by getting more certificates or more degrees and always, I'm supposed to look a certain way. I'm supposed to talk a certain way. And we get to this point and we realize we're so disconnected from who we truly are and what our really true purpose is on this planet. And it may be that my true purpose is that I came here to have these very connected relationships in my life that I don't have now because I'm so disconnected from myself. It may be that I want to have this great mission doing this in the world or this, but it's that they just don't know anymore. And so it's a constant internal war doing
Thoughts. Do you do more one-on-one coaching or group coaching?
So right now I do one-on-one coaching. I'm actually excited because in the spring I'm going to be offering group coaching, and because women have to be in groups. One-on-one coaching is amazing, but women also have to be in groups because they have to be witnessed by other women having transformations because it's the power of the group. So I'm going to be offering that later in the spring, and it's going to be a 6-month kind of coaching because there's, as we just talked about, there's so many pieces to it. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to be offering within my group coaching, each participant will get some one-on-one time with me as well. So I think it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
Powerful, like just sitting with you for 6 months, working on this stuff as a group so we can all hear about each other's problems. How do people usually find you? How do women usually find you for coaching?
I do a lot of speaking at conferences, mostly women physician conferences. And so when I go speak there, I may be a sponsor as well and have like a coaching booth so people can come find me and talk with me and do some one-on-one quick coaching. Also, I get a lot of referrals. A lot of my clients will refer colleagues of theirs or friends of theirs. I do get some through social media rebranding process right now. And because this is a multi-year journey to really figure out what is my medicine that I can offer women. And it's finally all kind of come together. So going through this rebranding process, but through my website, through my social media, but a lot is through my keynote speaking. I'm very passionate about really having women understand, like, you are not broken. In fact, you're freaking amazing. Let me tell you what's going on in your brain so we can start working through that. And life shifts. I have clients who it's truly remarkable. Like when we start coaching, and if very quickly, when they start to understand what's happening, they become so empowered. One of my clients texted me and she's like, I just started a podcast. I just got, 5,000 likes on this post that I just did on social media. So it's just like, it's amazing when women start to see that they now like, wow, I'm getting what's happening here and I can work through this. And I'm starting to feel amazing and I'm starting to get some connection to who I truly am and how powerful I am and how I'm here to help, heal this planet. And it doesn't have to be, again, in these massive, global missions, but one woman who's empowered has a ripple effect to hundreds of other humans.
That is really powerful how you're able to help release her energy and find her inner spark and create a catalyst for that. And I feel that catechism right now as you're speaking to me. I feel like I'm opening up and I know this is just a start for your coaching. And I'm wondering, what is like your big future goal in 2 years? Like, how many people do you want to affect, or what's your biggest dream?
My biggest dream, which will happen.
Yes,
I'm
I believe it.
manifesting this. Yes, I'm
believe it.
manifesting this. I'm going to be doing keynote speaking all over the world, and I am going to have very VIP one-on-one clients and amazing group coaching programs that are going to help women transform and also do events. So I really wanted to start to have retreats and, really just looking at this is how can I help the most women really understand this? Because again, the ripple effect is huge. And we need women to really get reconnected to who they are to, again, I keep saying this, but heal the planet. Like our planet is in a very tumultuous time. And when women are connected to their divine energy, their goddess energy, back to their intuition, women are collaborative, right? And we don't exclude people, and we're creative and we're very powerful. We can get connected back to that.
You're speaking to me. It's so nice to speak with you because I feel like you have so much knowledge and power, and being near you is healing me in a lot of ways because I have been going to conferences a lot, not as a speaker, but an attendee, and it's super male dominated. And a lot of the audience, they don't understand women's struggle. And so as I try to let the guys know what's going on inside, I feel like I have to, I don't know, fight to listen for them to listen and understand.
Yeah.
And also feeling a little bit gaslighted in this male dominated space. And I don't have the vocabulary to express this pain, but hearing you and knowing that you're here, I feel more powerful knowing that you have the words to describe what's going on.
Well, let me just really, I'll tell you a few things. I walked in to introduce myself to a patient the other day and I said, I'm Dr. Byerly. I'm going to be your anesthesiologist. And he said, are you a nurse anesthetist? And I said, I'm a physician. And he goes, are you a physician assistant? And I said, sir, I am an MD. I'm like, do you have any question about my credentials? So that gives you a idea right there of and he wasn't doing it, to be rude or it's just the patriarchy and the way that men have been socialized, right? So they see me and automatically their thoughts in their brain, not consciously, are, oh, she must be a nurse, some type of nurse, or not a physician. So when we start to understand the reality, and then for what you're talking about, there's something called the power penalty, where when a woman steps into a role that's usually a male dominated role, they're automatically judged differently. Everything you say, every word you write in an email is judged differently from someone's brain looking at her. Again, this is unconscious of, well, who does she think she is stepping out of this role into a male dominated role? And women do it very commonly to other women, and they don't realize they're doing it. There's also something called the likability clause. We want to be liked as women. This goes back to caveman days. If you were a woman in the cave and you weren't liked, you got kicked out of the cave, you got eaten, right? So this is how deep this is. When you go into a leadership role, you're automatically disliked by women and men. So we know this. It's this war of like, no, I have all these gifts and talents. I can make change. I can do, and then, so internally you're like, okay, I want to be liked, but I know I'm not liked. I'm being judged differently by every word I say, every word I put in an email. I'm being judged differently. So it really gives you an idea of how painful this is. So we become numb, right? Because it's this constant war and you can't believe, you're like, wait, I have so much to offer. Why do I have to fight all these battles on top of everything? And I'm not being promoted as much as other men, right? I'm not being paid the same amount. I mean, women physicians make so much less than male physicians. It's in the corporate world, right? It's everything. Women make less than men. But so how do you justify this drive that you have? And then it's the inner war and the outer war. And so we want to partner with men because we need their help. And when men start to actually understand this, they're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. So I had a colleague of mine, I had just written a paper and I was explaining this to him and he was like, what are you talking about? And I said, you watch. In this half an hour that we're in this room, someone is going to come in and call me by my first name. And it exactly happened. And he looked at me and he said, I never would have even heard it. Like, it's so not in my orbit that I never would have even realized that a nurse walked in here and called you Stephanie instead of calling you Dr. Byerly. And they never would have done that to me as a man. Right.
Just
So
that little bit of like respect that they give
yeah.
or not give. Yeah.
Yeah. He was like, oh my gosh, I have a sister who's a physician. What does she go through? So it really just, and so partnering with men, because then they think, my God, I have a daughter. I have a wife, I have all the things, and they start, now it gets a different perspective about when they come home and say, oh my gosh, this happened. Now it's real and you understand it more. And it's not a blaming game. It's just leveling the playing field.
Yes, that's a good tip to just like level the playing field and get men to kind of see your perspective and be a partner, an ally, a part of this. Yeah. I really appreciate you sharing that. And I feel that, you give a lot to your coaching clients and helping them heal and like work on these specific issues. But I'm wondering, like, when you give so much of yourself to other people, how do you keep your cup full?
I do a lot of mindset work every day. I have my morning ritual that I do every day. Very much connected to breath work, meditation. I now have just a wonderful life with a wonderful life partner that I never thought could even, be possible. My life is just so different now after doing all this work. I have two wonderful daughters and just a life I never thought I could have. And so that is a lot for me to really realize. I've worked on this for so long, and yes, things come up every day and there's challenges and all of this, but in general, I look at things with just such more of a positive mindset because it's so much for me to help other people in this different way. So, for anesthesia, I take care of people once. I see them once for a surgery or take care of women for an epidural or a C-section. I never see them again. But when I can help a coaching client with every minute of every day of their life, because that's what coaching is. It helps you become the version of you that you want to become. And that shifts everything in your life. So when I realize how much my life experiences, my training, all the things, how I can help people, it's just, I'm so passionate about it because of that transformation that I can help women have. And it isn't just women, like, I love working with men as well. I primarily, work with women, but it is to see somebody who the first coaching session comes to me and they feel broken and their soul is screaming, to
Yeah.
3 or 4 coaching sessions where they're coming back and they're smiling and they're glowing and they're like, I can see now that I can work through this and how different this can be. It's remarkable, actually. I have like 3 full-time jobs and it's all great because I'm so dedicated to this.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, you are super, super high achieving. Yeah. A lot of people would have a hard time balancing 2 jobs, but you are doing 3. And so I'm super curious about like your coaching business, how like that's going and if there's any pain points, because it sounds like you have a great coaching program, but there's like 3 pillars, like with your coaching program, your marketing, and your sales. I'm just wondering if any part of that system is like kind of creating issues right now or anywhere in the coaching business that needs a bit of help.
Yeah, so I'm doing a big rebrand with a group in California called For Divine. And I'm so excited because they're helping me sort of recreate everything with this new kind of niche that I have. I think I will say that the coaching for physicians has really changed the landscape. And so it is more difficult to get clients. And so for me, I've really realized that I want to branch out to not just women physicians, but into the kind of a corporate space or any space with high achieving women, that really, because we're all going through the same thing. It just has different flavors, when you talk about medicine or the corporate world, but it's all the same big issues. So it really, getting clients is, much more difficult than it was a couple of years ago, especially during COVID. And right now I feel like with my rebranding, I'm in a place and I just got a TEDx talk. So I'm so excited about that.
Congratulations! We're gonna see you on the TEDx speed
Yes,
stage. Wow!
yes. In June in LA. And so really starting to, I would say, get my hands in the different parts of this that I've been going for, these 4-year journey so far. So going to be writing a book. So really just looking into all the different spaces and just with this company that I'm working with, with advertising and how do you get new clients and where do I need to start looking? And so I'm just excited about opening up my mind to all the possibilities. I'm ready.
I'm so excited for you. So many good things are happening, like synergetically. You have your book coming up, your TED Talk coming up, and I would
Yeah.
want to play a little game. It's going to be short and quick, but it's about, business investments. A lot of our coaches
Mhm.
believe in investing in themselves, and we want to know about how you've been investing in yourself. It's called First, Last, Best, Worst.
Okay.
I'll just ask you what your first business investment was that you remember making.
When I signed up to become a life coach, I was like, what am I doing? Right. So I'm a full-time physician in, academic medicine, a professor doing all these things. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. So I invested in myself and joined this first coaching program. Yeah. And started this business, which was like, oh my God, starting a business? I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, and you're doing a great job right now too. You're getting on speaking tours, growing your social media, getting leads, figuring out your niche. That's incredible.
Yeah.
What is the most recent business investment you've made?
This two, one is a speaking coach, and 2 is this For Divine for this rebranding big investment, and very excited about it.
Oh my gosh, good luck on that one. I'm so
Thank you.
excited for you. Maybe we'll catch up and hear more about it. What
Yeah.
is the best business investment you've ever made?
The best. I would say the women-centered coaching that I'm in currently, I started that 2 years ago. Big investment, and I have continued with Dr. Claire Zammit, and she was the missing piece in my coaching as far as what really holds women back, and talking about these 21 inner barriers and the pieces that we don't understand. And so when I came across her, it was actually 2 years ago this time, I was like, this is it. This is the missing piece. Starting my 3rd year with her. Yeah, I mean, she's incredible. And so putting that together with all the other pieces, it was the magic sauce.
Now I need to know, what's the number one thing that's holding women back?
So there's these 21 inner barriers, and the top 4 are I'm not enough, I'm not visible, I'm alone, and the pattern that I live in is the I'm too much pattern. But we hear about this, right? Like, I'm not enough and all this, but we don't understand how deep this is and how we actually create our own reality. And so it's really understanding in which area of your life we have the inner barriers, understanding how we're showing up, how we're creating it, and how this is the key piece, how we create our new story and how we come through a breakthrough and how we create our own destiny pathway in this vision based on this deep, deep understanding of these patterns. Because it isn't just, okay, I'm not enough, let me do this, let me do. It's like, no, we have to really break this down and create new neural pathways in your brain, new behaviors, new ways of looking at who you truly are. There's a whole nother piece about these power blocks and that women look at everything through shame, lack, and isolation before we even get to these 21 inner barriers. And so when I started really understanding it at this level, it was like this, wow.
Yes. The number one thing that really speaks out to me about everything you said is just like how to create your new story. Cause like, yes, I know I have a lot of problems and I'm insecure, but how do I get over it and create my own new story? And I feel like you're the perfect person to help guide me through this.
Yeah. And here's the thing is that when we start to look at how women are socialized, meaning the basically what's put upon us, our programming, family of origin, genetics, social media, all the things. This is what we realize when we come to coaching is that it could not have been any other way. So when you realize that it couldn't have been any other way, and it can be different if you want it to be, it gives you back the choice, your sense of control and agency. And that's critical. Because when you feel like you have no control over anything and life is just happening to you instead of everything is happening for you. I'm a Tony Robbins guru too, and he changed my life as well. And yeah, I mean, when you ask me that question about the investment, I'm like, there's been so many. But Tony Robbins is also a key person that's been in my life and changed my life.
Yeah, he's incredible. The thing that I remember about him is like just shaking yourself out of your environment, your like the thinking, just like make a physical
Change your
action.
state. Change your state. Right.
There you go.
Make your
Change your
move.
state.
Make your move. Yeah. Yes. And so he's in my brain all the time. I actually, on my wall, I look at this every day. He has, something. Have you ever heard of Now I Am the Voice that he's famous for? So
Please
it
tell
is.
us.
Okay. So you say, now I am the voice. Now I am the voice. I will lead, not follow. I will believe, not doubt. I will create, not destroy. I am a force for good. I am a leader. Defy the odds. Set a new standard. Step up, step up, step up. And it isn't about leading other people. It's about leading what's happening in our brain. And he talks about if we let our brain control us, okay, it's like a little cartoon character running around. Like it's our caveman brain that thinks we live in a cave. We have to take back control of our brain. A managed mind is a great thing, but an unmanaged mind is really not a great thing. I also bring the trauma piece in because most of us have had trauma and that's a whole nother level. But when you really start to understand that you're pretty amazing, let's just figure out what's in there holding you back.
Oh, wow. Dr. Stephanie, Byerly, you have been really amazing. You have opened my eyes to a lot of the struggles that high achieving women and women in general that are struggling with, and how to kind of overcome those things and find presence in the now and find joy and happiness and personal fulfillment. And I am wondering, how can people find you and connect with you?
All of my social media is at Stephanie Byerly, MD, for LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And my website is stephaniebyerly.com. And a new website is up. It's sort of a temporary website until my rebranding is done in the spring. So I'm excited.
Do you want to
Yes.
share with us a little bit about your rebranding? You told me the name and I just got super excited about it.
It's really about helping women become unnumb, and all new, just everything is brand new. I'm just so excited. It's like new photos, just new colors, just everything. It's really who I am now. And again, this has been a multi-year journey and it's all kind of come together. And so I'm just so excited for this launch that we're going to have. And yeah, I get to go spend the day in LA with Emily Ford from For Divine, and it's gonna be amazing. I can't wait.
Gorgeous, beautiful. Okay, everyone, if you want to have Dr. Stephanie Byerly be your coach or help you in your coaching business, please reach out to her. And thank you for joining Career Coaching Secrets.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This podcast was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, or even $100,000 weeks, all without burning out and making sure that you're making the impact and having the life that you want. To learn more about our community and how we can help you, visit joinpurplecircle.com.